VPN at technophilespodcast.com. I'm David Geisler, and this is the Technophiles Podcast.
They are using this technology to be like, hey, do you want to know everything about your abs? Do you want to know everything about your biceps? We'll give you that information.
This week, the cast talks about health gadgets from CES, President Obama's Snapchat account, and Apple's surprising updates to iOS. It's time to record the water content to your biceps because this is the Technophiles 282nd episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's show. I am here with the regular cast, Krista-Lee Malone and Vee Laabs. I did kind of start off
quick
there,
did.
Didn't
that was a thing.
Caught her by surprise a little bit.
Woohoo.
I had a feeling. I was like, I'll get a genuine reaction if I start right now. And I did. Vee
Good job.
Was surprised.
Start.
How you been? How was your week, Vee?
Week's been pretty good. Still got a lot in store. There's a midwinter.
This week?
Yeah, for this week at least. Last week was not really anything special, but this week I'm going to see wrestling, and then I'm going to go to a midwinter gaming convention.
Whoa, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm going to see if I can jump in on any tables, try some new games, buy some new dice and stuff since I'm starting a new RPG campaign with some friends.
Yeah, where's this convention at?
This is at the Hilton, the really fancy
Here
one.
in Milwaukee?
Yeah.
The Midwest Gaming Convention.
Yeah. Yes, Midwinter.
It's
Midwinter. I know, you got to be careful because there's a Midwest one, too.
That's right.
That's the Midwest Gaming Classic.
Classic, right.
Classic,
yeah.
and they have video games.
Midwinter Gaming Convention, huh?
Yeah, and Midwinter is all tabletop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a lot of LARPing when I was there last year.
Yes.
There's a
noticed
lot
that
of
too.
rooms with LARP.
Just a ton of
Vee
people
Laabs.
dressed like vampires.
If you are so inclined to shoot a little bit of video, we'll put a little Tumblr video together or something.
Okay,
Can
sure.
we do that?
Yeah.
If you're inclined to grab a few things, and even if you're selfie camming,
Yeah.
talking about where you're at, that's okay. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Done, and put that in the to-do list. I have a touch screen over here. I didn't know if you know that.
Oh, wow. Look
all
at that
these screens are
technology
touchable.
happen. That technology is
There we
happening
go.
all over
Excellent.
the place.
It's in. Krista-Lee
Excellent.
Malone, how you doing?
I am doing good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm stressed.
Oh.
We've had a busy week.
Yeah.
We just, Vee, I don't know if you know, but I think you do know. Krista-Lee and I just had our meeting with our next guest for our next live show, which is actually like February 24th. It's still a ways away, but we met with him nice and early. Mark Tasman. Tasman? For a second, I thought it might be Tasman.
No.
I think it's Tasman.
But I'm not sure if that ass is pronounced like an ass or a Z.
Tasman?
Yeah.
Tasman or Tasman? Either way, I'm really excited. He was a blast to talk with.
Yes, he is.
He's an
It's very
artist, a little bit of
interesting.
code. He teaches some classes over at UWM. He's our first guest to have his very own TED Talk.
No way.
So that'll be kind of cool. Maybe I'll tweet out a link of his TED Talk as we get closer to the episode so people can check it out. And it was a lot of fun.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a good conversation, and I think we're gonna have a nice episode when that comes around next
really
month, around this
cool.
time next month.
I'm looking forward to that.
So, gals, let's tell our audience what we're actually going to be talking about tonight. Let's see. I think we're going to do Vee, because you've got kind of a CES story, and then Krista-Lee, why don't we'll do you next, and then I've got like a little iOS update story that I think I'll save for part 3.
Okay.
So what are we talking about right now, Vee?
We are talking about some of the oddly pointless fitness gadgets that are coming out of CES.
I personally am optimistic when it comes to wearables and when it comes to fitness wearables. Personally, I think that you can go astray sometimes, but I think it's probably a good thing for our culture. We'll see what you have to say and what you found. We'll come back and in break 2. It'll come after the break in part 2. Krista-Lee, what did you find?
I will be talking about Barack Obama's new Snapchat.
It's true.
I should probably start using Snapchat again.
Snapchat has hit the White House.
Oh boy.
Then we'll take a break, and in part 3, I'll come back and talk about some of the updates that are coming out in iOS 9.3. And the point blah, blah, blahs usually aren't a big deal, but there's a few features that they're adding in that are kind of a big deal, at least for a point number update. And so I'd like to talk about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a couple of those.
There's a little bit of night mode,
Yes.
which I'll talk about. And then there's a really cool education feature that's getting put in.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll talk about that in part 3. So right now, Vee Laabs, lay it on us.
So, as we know, CES just wrapped up, and news sites are still just kind of parsing all the loads and loads and loads of information they've gotten from the whole expo, just various things being released and announced, and new gadgets and demos and all sorts of fun stuff. But of course, some of the bigger presences at these things are often fitness or health related gadgets or technologies. Like even going through just like the App Store, you look up health and fitness, it's like 12 pages of just the letter A for health apps.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and some of them are amazing. Plenty of them are good, and some are worthless.
Yeah. And they're all looking to help people organize their eating and exercising and calorie counting and all this sorts of stuff.
I'm running 5 health apps right now on my phone.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Anyway.
I run a total of 2, and they're just for counting push-ups.
Hey, that's worth it. That's fine. I don't have the push-up app. Oh, maybe I should get them.
Yeah.
I'm actually checking now because I know on my old phone, when I still had Android, I had at least 1 app. It looks like I have not put it on my iPhone, so I have none.
It's kind of funny. We were talking about this a little bit with Mark today, and I'm sure we'll just explore it more on our live show, which is seriously probably like 20 episodes away still. Because, well, no, we're only doing 1 a week now, so it's like 4 or 5 episodes from now. I think we're gonna have the live show. We were talking about a little bit. He's got a Fitbit and stuff, and I don't want to derail us too much.
Yeah.
But it's funny how a lot of these apps balance in between ridiculous or really helpful. And just to make that point right now, I have an app on here that just records my caffeine intake. I have an app on here that records my heart rate. I have an app that records my sleep, and an app that records my calorie intake. And I'm fine with all of that. But, maybe caffeine intake is more of a curiosity. I might as well know how much caffeine I'm taking in. It's not like, I don't know if I'm necessarily like living my life by it, but it's funny when you start looking at it. All updates to at least on iOS, it all updates to the health app, the Health Kit app.
Yeah.
And I will admit, it's kind of nice to see like, oh, I've really cut back on my caffeine over the last 8 months or something. Day to day, it doesn't seem to matter, but once you start looking at the larger data, or like, this is kind of cool. I'm actually pleased to say this. My heart rate has decreased quite a bit into a relaxed mode since we started doing coincidentally since we started doing Technophiles in this space.
Really?
Feels like home.
Wow.
Just feels like home here.
So, have you been actively making changes to like specifically to like have eating less calories or like purposefully drinking less caffeine?
I ran a calorie app about 2 years ago. I had to lose some weight a few years ago, and I got pretty intense about the calorie intake. And these days I don't run it as much, but I have a general sense of what's 200 calories, what's 100 calories, what's 1,000 calories. You know what I mean?
And those are good for that. Those are pretty good. But some of the gadgets.
Yeah, I feel we're going somewhere. That's why I want to bring all this up.
Some of the gadgets here at CES this year are integrating some interesting health-related technologies that have been used for other purposes, but they're kind of advertising them or presenting them as like fitness and health like gadgets that are going to help you improve your physique or your diet. It's very odd. For example, one of these gadgets, this was covered on an article in The Verge called the health gadgets at CES 2016 want to body shame you into buying them.
Got it.
So the first that is kind of like this. Oh goodness gracious, where is it? It's called Chisel, and it's manufactured by a company called Sculpt. Okay. Interesting names. And it uses a technique called electrical.
Yeah, Chisel and Sculpt is interesting because they're two different. One's adding to and one takes away. If you chisel something, you're taking away your medium. Okay. It's reductive, and then the other one's additive. If you're sculpting something, you're adding medium.
Yeah.
It's interesting that's where your mind went, because I just went to the cultural aspect in English of using those words to describe the body. Somebody has chiseled abs. They have a sculpted physique.
Yeah.
Sculpted is add on to, so it means like, oh, you've built this beautiful thing. Chisel, I think the reason people say chiseled abs is it's the implication that like, oh, it's been chiseled down. It's like, oh, you took away, you've taken things away.
Yeah.
With also the kind of comparison that you like marble statues are usually pretty fit. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah. So they've created this device called Chisel, and it's a small white rectangular box, and it's got all these like a little electrodes on one side of it. And these are used in a technique called electrical impedance myography, which is a way to gain info about the body's tissues, specifically muscles. Yeah. And this is used often to measure muscular deterioration or dystrophy for debilitating conditions like ALS. But they are using this technology to be like, hey, do you want to know everything about your abs? Do you want to know everything about your biceps? We'll give you that information. but it's unclear what purpose this serves other than just having another thing to track. Yeah. It'll like to a specific degree calculate how much fat is on there, how much like how well they're performing, on how much muscle's in there.
And again, this is a physical accessory.
Yeah.
That then talks to an
app
on
block.
the phone.
You like put it.
When you say block, you mean like a cube, like a white cube?
Like a rectangle.
Okay.
Yeah. You put it on, and then electrodes happen. And it tells you information about your bicep or your abs or whatever.
Okay.
So the question is, why?
If you're a bodybuilder, this is probably great, but in every other way, why?
Yeah. Like,
you know what I mean?
It seems like a very niche audience, but they're not even specifically targeting it. They're kind of presenting it as, this is something you can measure your body with. You know, if you need to know everything about your body while you're working out, or if you're on a diet and you need to like cut down and build muscle or whatever, you can know more. But it really doesn't provide any purpose. It doesn't, you know. I suppose it can tell you if your muscles are getting stronger.
Does that data educate you into changing your workout plan?
Perhaps.
I mean, I think if you're like a bodybuilder where you're into like the water content in your muscles and the salt content in your body and all that kind of stuff, maybe.
Perhaps. It's a little odd though. It's a weirdly, it's one function. And there's nothing that comes with it.
Fair enough.
It's just kind of it.
I have a sense that there's a few more here too.
There are. It's so there's the EIM device, and then there's the Helbees, HEALBES. Their Gobi wristband calorie tracker.
Okay.
Which they claim does not need a blood sample to measure the glucose in your blood. You simply wear this bracelet.
Okay, this is interesting.
And it uses electrical charges to sense the water displacement caused by the intake of glucose. So instead of measuring your blood specifically, it's just measuring like how much water is being displaced and then assuming that this much glucose is in that place. While in theory, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
It hasn't been tested in this kind of context as like a wearable, like would it actually work to accurately measure your glucose? We just kind of assume that they're being correct about that.
Right. Okay. So it hasn't been tested fully yet.
Exactly.
Great idea so far, but we'll find out.
Yeah. It's just it's a very vague concept to be a commercial product. It's not the best way to measure calories
medically rated yet.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing with a lot of these. Like even another one was like a belt you can wear that uses like electrodes to stimulate your abs, and that's supposed to like trim down your stomach.
Been around since the 50s, like zapping your muscles.
Yeah, and it turns out that it has no effect. It only makes you look thinner because it squeezes your stomach because it's like a girdle.
Right. It makes your muscles contract. It's a temporary effect.
Yeah.
Your muscles contract. So basically,
the muscles contract, but they don't build. Isn't that the idea?
Right.
Yes.
So I almost feel like you would have a longer term effect if you learned how to suck it in.
Yeah.
Like moms tell their young daughters to do.
Really?
What?
Some.
Whoa. Some. Whoa.
Oh.
If you just suck it in and hold it sucked in all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it would last all day long.
Oh. It's like an all-day workout.
We call that posture. We'll put it under the posture category. Fair enough. All right. Yeah. So zap your muscles to work out. That's always like you find that on like late night television often.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And it's another one of those
you can just
where it's
sit
like,
at your desk. And
they've got peer tests that say, "Oh yeah, it totally works," and then scientifically,
so someone took that and connected it with an app or something. It sounds like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They're like every year at CES, this person is saying they see these same type of technologies over and over and over that are peer tested but not scientifically tested.
Peer tested. Yeah, I get it. I see.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah.
So here's a business idea that someone can go ahead and take from me.
Right.
I bet you could actually make money just testing this stuff. Set yourself up as a third-party contractor to test all of the health apps, and I feel like there is money to be made there. Because I'm thinking as a customer, if such a thing existed, like if there was a consumer reports for health apps, I might be more willing to actually purchase a health app.
I see.
But, I look at all of these, and like you said, for all of these, none of them are scientifically proven. I mean, I personally am not going to go after any of them, right?
Yeah.
And even for people
well,
who
like,
would,
the one where you, like, measure your muscles or whatever, fine, if you want to get a general sense.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're going to read glucose levels for, like, a diabetic or something like that, like, you got to use approved method.
Sure.
Now, maybe these guys will eventually get there. I don't know if that's their trajectory
It's a
or
very,
not.
very, very young technology to be measuring glucose through water displacement.
I remember in like season 3 of this show, we did a story about a company that figured out a way to use your cell phone to read your heart rate. And what they did is they used the flashlight on your phone and the camera on your phone to read the blood moving through your veins. And we were like, "Wow, it's amazing. We'll have to see if it works. Oh, it's amazing." I use that app right now. Like, it's a normal thing now. Everybody can like download some free app and like read their heart rate by basically having this camera read the pulse in their finger.
Whoa.
You know what I mean?
That's how it does it?
So it shines light into your finger, and then, that light goes in every which way, every direction, and then the camera reads bright to dark, which is the blood pushing through.
So has that been...
And so at the time, it's correct. Yeah,
it
it's the
is?
same as like any, like, remember Nintendo's like vitality sensor? It's the same thing. It was the same thing. It just uses optical light to read the, up and down. Some of them will use infrared. It doesn't matter. But I guess what I'm trying to say is at the time we were like, "Whoa, that's crazy, it's blowing our minds, man.
Yeah.
We'll never get approved." Like maybe these glucose guys. I'm trying to root for them a little bit, even though I understand what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So CES, tons of health apps.
Yes, loads as usual. That and drones, lots and lots of drones.
Lots of drones. Was there anything that stood out for you when you were looking up all of these different health apps and things like that? Because we'll get going to break here.
Gosh, this article was just...
Do you use any health apps right now?
I use push-up and sit-up counters. Yeah.
Yeah. So push-up. You put the phone on your back and then you...
Well, it's
do some push-ups.
Yeah. Oh, it's so heavy. It just yells at me, "Go faster! Your form is off. Fix it." No, it gives me a different. It gives me like a rate of push-ups to do every day. Yeah, sure. It increases it, so I get stronger.
I tried out a meditation app once that was connected to HealthKit, and it would like talk you through 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and it would. It would like read you'd put the phone on your finger, and it would read your heart, and it kind of knew where you were at with what you were doing. It's okay. Ultimately, I deleted it because I had to make space for something else, but it's okay. I think you find what you find your own version of the different. The one thing that's nice is, and I don't know what it's like on Android, but I know on iOS it's nice that at least they all talk to HealthKit. So like if I'm putting in my weight on MyFitnessPal, that'll translate over to Lark, or it'll translate over to like I use the Up Coffee app to read my caffeine. Well, it tries to tell me like, okay, you may not be able to go to sleep for an hour or two if you have this 20 ounces of coffee here based on like my body mass, but it knows my body mass because of HealthKit, because this other app informed HealthKit of my body mass. Like, that's kind of cool.
So HealthKit kind of gathers all that information. Oh,
HealthKit is it's not a language, but it's almost. It's a hub for all these apps to talk to, and then that data becomes universal and can get pushed to other apps. It's exactly the same, if I may real quick, as HomeKit. Like, that's why they're titled these things, you know what I mean? It's like it's almost a language, or it's a way to input variables that you get neutralized, and they can go out to other common way to save data, whatever.
That's really cool.
Health apps. Let's go to break. We're going to come back in part 2, and Krista-Lee, we're going to be talking all about Barack Obama's Snapchat. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what some of his early snaps were. I'm sure people have taken screen grabs. Or maybe
he started it like this morning.
He started this morning, so there should be like 5 or 6 snaps out there. It's his dog with a mustache drawn on.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go to break. We'll come back in part 2. I'll see you guys then and there. Oh, wait, before we go, I forgot we have to do this these days. Krista-Lee, where can people find you on Twitter?
Oh, yeah, that's right. On Twitter, you can find me at GamerAnthro.
Indeed, and Krista-Lee, if they want to talk to you a little bit about...
This is Vee Laabs.
And Vee, if people want to talk to you about your favorite health apps.
If they want to know how many push-ups I'm doing, they can find out at bear_Annika.
Fantastic. We love it when people tweet the show at Technophiles Pod. Also, people can find us on Facebook, iTunes, and Stitcher by searching Technophiles or Technophiles Podcast. Both works. You can go to our actual website, technophilespodcast.com. And remember, here on YouTube, we have our episodes kind of broken up into parts, but if you go to iTunes, we put the whole episode together as one big Our Chunk. So you can find us there if you want to just listen. All right, guys, I'll see you in part 2. In the meantime, as you're waiting for part 2, you can tweet me on Twitter at RaptorPaint. Just saying.